In the frigid waters of Alaska, steel cages are pulled up from depths of more than 1,000 feet, containing creatures worth millions of dollars, king crabs. Huge but fragile, they can be killed by a single jolt or a few minutes of delay. Yet a shipment of crabs worth $800,000 traveled thousands of miles via refrigerated trucks, planes, and countries without a single one dying. It is a race against the death, where even the slightest deviation can cause everything to collapse. Discover the secrets of the world's most complex living transportation. Go discover how they moved $800,000 of live king crabs without losing a single one. King crabs are no ordinary crab. With a leg span of up to 5.9 feet and weighing more than 22 pounds, they are iconic in the coldest of seas. Living at depths of 656 feet, where the pressure is dozens of times that of sea level, and the temperature is just 32 to 35.6 degrees Fahrenheit. They are strong in the ocean, but fragile when they enter the human world. A temperature rise of just 9 degrees Fahrenheit or a few minutes without oxygen can kill them. Each one is worth $300 to $500 or even more if it reaches the Michelin table alive. But getting them across thousands of miles intact is a daunting challenge. They have open circulatory systems, no lungs, are susceptible to heat stroke, and cannot regulate their environment. Their survival is entirely at the mercy of humans. In the middle of the Bering winter, where the United States and Russia are separated by ice, giant steel ships plow into waters that produce the bulk of the world's king crab. Only the most intrepid fishermen brave the rough waves, cold, and darkness. Steel cages weighing 661 pounds were lowered to a depth of 656 feet, baited with fat herring. After 16 to 20 hours, the cage is pulled up with the living treasure inside. But not all of them are up to standard. Right on the frigid deck, each crab is inspected: size, shell, reflexes. Weak or broken individuals are discarded, even those worth hundreds of dollars. Qualified crabs are put into tanks of circulating, continuously oxygenated seawater. From that moment on, the clock began to count down. Every minute was a challenge for the pump system, the electricity, and the lives of each crab. When the voyage ends, they not only bring back crabs, but also the responsibility of keeping this treasure alive until the dinner table. How do creatures from icy waters survive when they leave the ocean? The secret lies in special tanks where technology, biology, and refrigeration intersect, keeping life alive in every rhythm and millimeter of space. Out there, the seas are never calm for long. A change of wind can turn the calm waters into giant walls of waves. The ship shudders, and inside, millions of dollars of king crab depend on the system's every move. Transporting king crab is unlike any other commodity. It is a live commodity where the slightest delay or mishap can derail the entire voyage. The true value lies in the ability of humans to sustain life in the harshest of environments. When a storm arises, the deck becomes the ultimate test. Cold water whips across, the mooring lines are taut, and the crew must simultaneously maintain balance and ensure the tanks are functioning properly. One small mistake in all their hard work can be lost to the waves. Yet the voyage continues, over and over again. Fishermen persevere through the rough waves, bringing back not only precious seafood, but also proof of human determination, bravery, and ability to conquer nature. As the last net is hauled up, the ship, laden with thousands of king crabs, begins to turn back toward port. But the journey is not easy. Big waves, cold winds, and drifting ice are a constant challenge for both the crew and the technology. On the frigid deck, each crab is transferred into a seawater recirculation tank. The pumps, pipes, and oxygenators must operate 24/7. Even a minute of stopping can devalue the cargo. Each tank on the ship is equipped with temperature, oxygen, and salinity sensors, which transmit data to the control room where the captain and engineers monitor every minute. The survival of the cargo, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, depends on each number jumping on the screen. When the storm comes, the deck becomes a battlefield. The crew had to tie the anchor ropes and reinforce the tanks, while waves over 10 meters high continuously lashed the ship's sides. While saving their own lives, they had to protect the lives of the warriors from the bottom of the sea. timely return to port, because the longer the time at sea, the greater the risk of loss. After many hours of braving rough waves and cold winds, when the harbor lights appeared, it was not just a destination, but a victory. More than 1,000 king crabs were alive and healthy, ready to embark on the next journey at the processing plant. As soon as they arrive at the port, the king crabs are transported straight to the modern processing plant. The deep, cold air surrounds them, keeping the temperature just a few degrees above freezing to ensure that the crabs are always fresh. A team of workers wearing white gloves begins the inspection process. Each crab is carefully examined. Shell color, reflectivity, balanceability. Only the healthiest individuals are sent to the next line. Each crab is tagged with a traceability tag, clearly stating the fishing coordinates, harvest date, and shipping route. This is a mandatory step to ensure transparency and international quality. After sorting, the crabs are processed manually in a deep, cold environment. Workers use specialized knives to separate the meat, preserving the natural structure and Arctic flavor. The crab meat is then sent in two directions. One part is packaged fresh using vacuum technology. The other part is processed to cook quickly with steam, then immediately cooled. Each tray of crab meat is inspected one last time before being sealed, packaged, and shipped to the market. For high-end shipments, the product will be shipped directly to Michelin restaurants, where freshness is a decisive factor in reputation. In the processing room, every detail is measured in seconds and degrees Celsius. From the light, temperature, to humidity, everything must be up to standard. The smallest mistake can make the whole batch fail to meet the requirements. And then the final result appears: red, sweet king crab parts, delicately presented. From the stormy deck to the cold factory, the journey of preserving life is complete. On the luxury dining table, a $400 to $600 portion of crab is more than just a luxury seafood dish. It is the crystallization of harsh nature, precise technology, and human dedication. Three technologies work in tandem. Environmental sensors send data every 3 minutes. Cold logistics automatically maintains temperatures of plus or minus 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit, and manual biomonitoring to fine-tune every microstep. All of this makes up the so-called cold chain of life. Once developed for vaccines and organ transplants, it's now being applied to luxury seafood. The costs aren't cheap. Each crab costs $35 to $50 just to transport, nearly 10% of the shipment's value. If humans can transport more than 1,000 lives, 3,100 miles, through 4 transit points and 2 time zones without losing a single individual, is there a limit to the ability to preserve life? From the forests, from the seas, and from the planet itself, the answer may lie in the level of devotion we are willing to give to it. The king crab's journey is not only a logistical feat, but also proves that with knowledge and dedication, humans can bring life beyond the boundary between life and death. If you find this journey amazing, subscribe to the channel to discover the strangest, most precious, and precious stories.